Today was just bizarre. I mean, it's so embarrassing for the government. When I read this story in the Sydney Morning Herald this morning, negative gearing in Labor's sights as Albanese readies for election battle, I thought, hello, this is Labor running an idea up the flagpole. You know how it works, government floats an idea without committing to it, a leak, no one puts their name to it, just to see what the reaction might be. Is this a winner? Is it a dog? And this report had all the marks. I mean, you had a senior Labor official quoted, a senior or another Labor official backing him up, both of them anonymous, both saying the Albanese government had asked the Treasury Department to work out the costs and benefits of scrapping negative gearing. Now, negative gearing is the tax deduction more than 1 million Australians now claim when the rent they get for their property doesn't cover their costs. As I said, 1 million people now claim it. So it's a brave government that dares to touch it. But if the government did fiddle with it, oh, so tempting. If it fiddled with that and the capital gains tax, it could get back $7 billion a year. And boy, does this big spending government need that money. And besides, doing something that bold, that decisive, makes the government look strong, like it really did have some big ideas after all that criticism. And that's exactly what one of these unnamed officials also told the Herald. This will give the government something big and positive to talk about. It will be a major talking point in the campaign. So like I said, classic flagpole leak, except it seems no one told the Prime Minister they'd do it. Anthony Albanese today seemed completely caught out, not wanting to confirm, not daring to deny, not knowing really what to say. In the end, if you believed the Albanese today, some public servants just decided all by themselves to work out these costings. No one told them. They were just, doodling.
I've seen those reports, and what we do is we value the public service. So from time to time, I'm sure the public service are looking at policy ideas. That's because we value them.
4 times Albanese this morning implied the government hadn't asked for these costings at all, hadn't been thinking of scrapping negative gearing, although he never denied it outright.
Is your government considering making changes to negative gearing and capital gains tax?
What our government is considering is fixing housing supply by getting our legislation through the Senate.
That's what's really going on. I mean, had Albanese maybe learned only this morning that Treasurer Jim Chalmers had indeed asked Treasury for this costings, asked his own department, and had it then leaked? Is that why Albanese wouldn't rule out these changes today as clearly as he did last year when he was very clear indeed?
Would you consider revisiting negative gearing policy ahead of the election?
No.
So you're completely ruling it out?
I think that was a pretty clear answer.
And it was only after Albanese's press conference today, hours later, that the Treasurer himself finally emerged after mysteriously cancelling a morning interview with the ABC at the last minute. It was like he'd first had to get his story to match Albanese's or Albanese's to match his, even if it made him look just as shifty.
It's not unusual for the public service, and in my case, my department, I'm sure Katie's department is the same, to examine issues that are being speculated about in the public or in the parliament. That's how a good public service operates. I'm not going to engage in hypothetical impacts of hypothetical policies.
No, just level with this. All this double speak. What it did, it gave the Greens a chance to boast that it was now wagging this Labor dog, which it sure will after the next election if polls are right, if Labor loses seats and stays in government only with the Greens' support.
Greens pressure works. Labor are cracking under the pressure that the Greens have built on Labor acting on the housing crisis. There's no way that we would have heard this announcement today that Labor are considering changes if it weren't for the fact that the Greens were mounting pressure on Labor to take real action on the scale of the housing crisis.
So my tip, yes, the government, of course, has been considering axing negative gearing. But after this kerfuffle, I would also ask, who is now running this government? Is it the Prime Minister? Is it the Treasurer? Is it some unnamed Labor official? Is it a public servant just doodling away in Treasury? Or are the Greens in charge?